Hello. You might be wondering why I'm curled up in the fetal position. Well, let's take a couple steps back to see the president that started it all.
It was the end of 1808 in a cold, frosty December. A man named Little James Madison will always be remembered, not only for his architectural mind behind the Constitution, but for his War of 1812 solution. It was an unpopular one, that is to be said, though he was the only president to ever spearhead the threat. He took off his gowns, bared the Second Amendment, and led his men to the with the British abducting U.S. sailors. Mr. Madison!
That would be me, James Madison. I decided to pass the Embargo Act. Probably wasn't one of my most popular decisions, but Britain decided to keep pissing us off. So I asked for a declaration of war, which I signed. J-Dog. I'll sign it again. M-Dizzle. Your Majesty. I led my men into battle. On my noble steed. 'Cause I'm the president. And I can do what I want. America! This is my land!
Says who?
Says I! Boy, I'll make sure of that! So I realized that I might have made a mistake with this whole war idea. So I decided to ex-nay that idea and make the Treaty of Ghent. So that way we could get out of this hole that we put ourselves in. Me.
The Treaty of Ghent successfully ended the War of 1812.
Bombardment! You see, Mr. Keyes, once that flag hits the ground, we will cease fire!
Hello fellow Americans, my name is Francis Keyes, and I feel inspired by that last video that you just saw to write a song for my country, called the Star-Spangled Banner.
During the War of 1812, the Spaniards decided to supply the Native Americans with some weapons to help fight the Americans.
¡Órale, vato! ¡Aquí, güey! ¡Go kill the gringo! ¿Okay?
Okay, gracias, amigo.
Am I in dog poop?
Oh, no.
It was the end of 1817 in a cold, frosty December. A man named James Monroe awoke from his slumber to find his country in a bit of a hole due to the recent dork in office.
I have to clean up after him.
Sir, I got a question to ask you, and my question is, why did your party initiate the Hartford Convention?
Well, you see, first off, there was the War of 1812, and if that wasn't bad enough already, now slaves are worth 3/5 of a vote. Like, we might as well be our own separate thing at this point. We are so meaningless in this country now that we should just separate ourselves.
Do you hear that, sir?
What?
This just in, folks. Andrew Stonewall Jackson just freed some British cushy down in New Orleans. Yeehaw!
Well, there goes our party.
As president, I got rid of the Federalist Party for 3 reasons. Number 1, it was stupid. Number 2,
My boy George Washington told us you shouldn't have political parties, and when George Washington says something, it gets done. Number 3, the Federalist Party and political parties in general didn't help. They just disunified everybody. We were all fighting each other. This is the United States of America, not the disunited States of America. Nimrods. Anyways, this time period was called the era of good feelings. Let me show you what that is.
Dude, stop with the bag. Oh my god.
You're not.
Continue.
While I was president, the Missouri Compromise was enacted. Let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so here we have our friends to the north, Canada. And here is our hombres to the south. But in America, we could not decide where do we want slaves, where do we not want slaves. So, on the 36th degree of the 30th latitude, right about here, we decided people on the north, no slaves. These are free states. People on the south, you have them. Now, this led to the problem. How many votes do slaves get? Because of the Missouri Compromise, we chose that slaves are worth 3/5 of a vote.
Thank you, Linda. Now to Mr. Monroe with the weather.
Go, Eddie! Okay. Just standing here awkwardly. Go. It wasn't on.
You have to focus on your camera. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the camera.
Go.
That would be me. Ready? Look at me. You ready?
Yeah.
That would be me. James, Mother of God. Should I just keep going? If you have to aim the camera at me, you're missing.
Okay, go. When
This is my land! Says who?
a little quicker, Eddie.
Michael, gotta start the lights off and turn them on.
No. Michael, say your line.
It was the end of 1808 in a cold,
No,
frosty.
because this is not the end of 1808. On my noble steed. My noble steed. My noble steed.